Hey folks, Quilly here, and welcome to Let's Try the Lord of the Rings adventure card game. This is a newly released digital adaptation of a real-life card game. Now, this isn't a collectible card game. This is what I think they're calling a living card game. Basically, you buy the box set, and it's got all the cards in there. I think it originally, I want to say, came out in 2011. I looked it up on the wiki before doing this, but I've already forgotten the numbers because I'm bad at memory. And then they came out with a bunch of extra expansions and campaigns and stuff over time. It's really cool. One of the interesting things about this game is that it is not a symmetrical card game where two people build the same deck and duke it out against each other. Instead, you are going to be playing as the forces of good. You're going to be playing as the men of Rohan. You're going to be playing as hobbits. You're going to be playing as elves and dwarves and whatever against the forces of Sauron. In particular, in this digital version, you're always going to be playing against Sauron, who's going to be run by the computer. So it very much feels more like an adventure rather than a competitive card game. Even in multiplayer, it's about playing co-op against the bad guys, which is, I really enjoy this idea a lot. This is a sponsored video. It is sponsored by Asmodee Digital, the people who are behind this, and you can buy it now on PC. You can find a link down in the doobly-doo, and it is coming on consoles, Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, a little later this fall. I'm actually really excited for the Switch version because I think this is going to be a really good airplane game. That's usually what I think about when it comes to console games. Like, with all the travel I do, is like, oh, I can play this when I'm on the plane. It's going to be great. But yeah, so I've been fiddling a little bit with it. I played through the tutorial, I played through a couple of the campaign things, and I've experimented with building my deck, and we're going to look at some of that over here. So I think the idea is they are going to be bringing more of the expansions to this in the future. Yeah, but again, it's not, even though it looks like, you know, there's packs of cards and whatever, it's not like your standard CCG where you blind open a pack and do anything like that. Even these coin points over here are just used to unlock specific cards and are earned through regular gameplay. You have tons of them and things like that. So there's not this sort of like luck gambling element, which I think is very nice. I also really like, and we'll see this once we get into the sort of campaign mode, all the little objectives and things that you can have in the game. So this is a little bit of a different card game than a lot of the ones that you may imagine when you think about collectible card games, where you're talking about, whether you're thinking about real life or digital adaptations, a lot of the mechanics work quite differently. You will be building a deck, but the thing is that's interesting is your deck, you start off by picking 3 heroes, and these heroes will start in play at the start of each match. And then in addition to that, you build a 30-card deck. Now, the heroes are two parts of the equation. One, they're quite potent, and they will be, in a very significant way, your primary source of sort of damage and objective completion, I would say. But in addition to that, there are 4 different, what they call spheres over here. There is the purple sphere, which are leadership cards, the green one, which is lore, the blue one, which is spirit, and the red one, which is tactics. And each one of these has certain different kinds of focuses. But each one of the heroes belongs to one of those spheres, and the cards that you can include in your deck depend on the spheres of your heroes. So, for example, if everyone can go into Deck Builder here and just create a new deck as like a little bit of an example here. If I wanted, let me actually flip over to cards, actually. So let's say we want to play with the card A Friend in Need in this deck. The bottom right corner here, this requires 2 sphere heroes to be in your starting 3 to be able to play with this card. There's actually level 3 versions of cards. So if you want to play with Citadel Plate, which is insanely strong, right? These higher level cards are really potent, but this would restrict you to just playing with 3 tactics, I think that's what that one, the red is called. Yeah, tactics heroes. And while tactic heroes are very smashy and very strong, they tend to be a little weaker on willpower and as well as threat manipulation, different things like that. If you want a full slew of variation and you want to cover all your bases, you might want to go with 3 heroes of different things. You might want one leadership, one lore, and one tactic. Hey, that's great. You could totally do that for your hero. I love all the voice acting too, by the way. But if you do that, that means you'll never be able to use level 3 or even level 2 cards. You'll be limited to only level 1. Now, level 1 cards aren't bad, but they may not be the same powerhouse. So there's this like interesting kind of, how do you choose how you compose your deck? There's like so much variations, right? We've got currently nine different heroes. That's correct? Yes. No. So I was gonna say that's not right, but it's because I didn't actually have all the spheres turned on. There you go. 12 different heroes currently, and 12 pick 3 gives you, it's been a long time since I've done discrete math, so I don't know how many combinations that is, but that's quite a few. And they are planning on coming out with more expansion stuff that's going to add more as well, which I think is quite interesting. And then on top of that is how do you build the cards. So I think that looks quite cool. Now I thought about maybe building a deck on the fly here, but I kind of wanted to get into the game itself so we can actually look at the actual mechanics and then maybe look at constructing a deck. I have built 2 so far, the Dwarven Damage and the Elven Mojo, and they both exist they really have very different focuses. The Dwarven Damage is very much just all about dealing true hardcore damage, and also amplifying our Dwarven bonuses. I've got Gimli in here. Actually, let me start with Dane over here, the king of the dwarves. He gets +1 attack to all other dwarf units as long as he's not exhausted, as long as he hasn't taken an action. And then my other 2 heroes are also dwarves. We've got Dwalin over here, who has +1 attack and +1 willpower. Is it called attack? No, not health. Yeah, it is called attack. +1 attack, +1 willpower, as long as he has 6 or more hit points. So he does stompy things. And then we've got Gimli over here, who has +1 extra attack if a character has taken damage this round, which is almost always going to be the case. You just don't want to attack with Gimli first. And then he's going to attack, well, he's actually going to be attacking for 4, +1 from himself and +1 from Dane. These guys are beasts! But the thing is, they'll all have only a willpower of 1. And most of the allies I have in this deck, I also only have a willpower 1. In fact, by default, it's set the filter to only show me the leadership and tactics cards. You can see 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. I don't know. Well, there's Gandalf, who's neutral. He does have a will of 4, but that might be all. Tom is neutral and has a will of 3. And these guys are fleeting. They go away at the end of the round, so they're sort of one-shot deals. So there's not a lot of willpower to go around with these particular combos, which isn't great. Whereas, if I flip it around and we take a quick look at Elven Mojo, and again, we're going to be getting to a game in a second, but just to give you a bit of a different vibe, my Elven Mojo over here, Glorfindel, has 2 attack, which is still fine, and 2 willpower. And at the end of the round, he lowers threat or increases fate. We'll talk about that one if we get into the game. We've got Eowyn over here. 2 attack is pretty good. It looks like she's only got 1 willpower, except the first time a character takes damage this round, she gets an extra 2 willpower. So 3 willpower on this character. It's so much bigger. And then Arwen, again, only 1 attack, but 3 freaking willpower is huge for overcoming objectives. On the other hand, with the spirit and lore spheres, if we take a look at the allies, which tab I'm on, you can see not as much attack. 1, 1, 1, 0. Lots of willpower, 2 and 2. It's crazy willpower. Again, ignore Gandalf because he's a neutral. But yeah, there may not be quite enough attack in there. Now, what's interesting about considering these different situations is how these battles go. So, if we go into single player over here, what we've got are different campaigns over here. So we've got campaign 1, the Shadows Reach, campaign 2, the Shadows Fall, and they're planning on coming out with more and more of them. Each one of these has 5 quests built into it. And you've got to complete the quests in order. So, for example, I have completed the first step of Shadows Reach, which means I can do quest 2, the City of Webs, but I can't yet do quest 3 in here. Each one of these quests also has multiple locations in it, so it's a multi-step challenge. There's different difficulties over here. There's also a bunch of rewards. So for completing, you get these fellowship points, which you use to unlock some cards. Not only that, but we unlock some extra cards. So if I complete the Quest 2 in the City of Webs, I will gain access to the Web Cutter card over here. It's a weapon I can attach to my characters, either heroes or allies. Gives our characters ambush as well as +1 attack versus spiders. That's kind of cool. And ambush ignores block and counter, which is kind of nifty as well. So that'll unlock that. If I beat it a second time, I unlock a new avatar. If I unlock it a third time, I get a special trophy, and for every time after that, I only get the 1,000 base points over here to help unlock cards. But that's not all. In addition to that, there's a specific challenge for this quest. You get extra points. I like this. I like the motivation to sort of excel and 5-star all these quests and do everything perfectly. And this, as far as I know, is repeatable every time you play it. So as long as all your heroes end at 50% or more health, you get some extra points. Will Elk, this is someone we're going to start with having unlocked. We're actually going to start the game with a special ally in play. And if he's still alive at the end, we get some extra points. Trigger every available fate event, avoid triggering the spider's lair. We'll click those when we get in there. Plus, there's extra rewards for completing this with the first time with each hero. So for example, if I look at Quest 1 over here, I played this, I think I beat this with actually one of the pre-made decks. So I completed it using, who dis? Aragon, Arwen, and Tom Took. But the game is going to encourage me to try to beat the game with all these different heroes over here, which is going to encourage me to play with different decks and different combinations and different builds. Not necessarily just whatever might be the most ideal for beating this scenario because of, you know, various things. I think that adds a lot of replayability, and for me, I'm gonna feel like I have to complete them all. Is the way I'm gonna feel like over here. Check out the size of this map too. They got plans, baby. They got plans. So yeah, so anyway, we're gonna do campaign 1, the Shadows Reach. I'm gonna do the second quest over here, which I haven't done yet. We are gonna go to play, and we're gonna choose. I'm gonna choose a Dwarven Damage deck over here. I did technically load this up, so I've got a bit of a sense of what it's gonna feel like. And it turns out Dwarven Damage is really what I'm gonna need for this particular scenario. Elven Mojo is really good if there's more objectives. Dwarven Damage is going to be really good if we just have to beat the crap out of things. Playstyle, this is your difficulty over here. Narrative versus Adventure versus Challenge. You can actually, if you hit Options over here, you can go into the glossary and check that. So if we go down to Narrative, so this is the lowest difficulty over here. I think that was Narrative over there. Yeah, so in Narrative, we are going to get 2 cards per round. And both us and Sauron are going to get 3 resources to spend. That's our money each round to play with. So 2 cards and 3 each. If we go to Adventure, which I believe is the middle difficulty, we only draw 1 card per round, and Sauron gets +1 resource. So they get more money over here. And then finally, if we were to go to Challenge, we still get 3 money and draw 1 card, so that's the same as the adventure mode, but Sauron gets 5 money every round, and in any case draws a full hand each time. Sauron always draws up to a hand of 5. I think that's true even in narrative, actually. Yeah, that is the same even in narrative play over here. So we're going to go with adventure, so it's going to be midline, so we're going to draw 1 card per round instead of the 2 on narrative. So adventure over here. We got this. We got Dwarven Damage. Excellent. Start quest. I'm going to mute my mic because there's some voiceover.
Ulthak moves a hand to the pommel of his sheathed blade. Several spiders flinch back, but the huge female stands her ground, glaring down at the insolent orc commander. For a long moment, there is complete silence. Finally, she chitters quietly at one of the nearby spiders. The minion moves quickly into the lair to drag Bilbo's cocoon towards the gateway. As the spider drags the last cocoon before Ulthak, a small, skinny creature flies out of the shadows, screeching "Precious!" like a dying animal. It wraps his arms around Ulthak's thick neck and bites his right ear. Black gore spills, and Ulthak's furious roar joins the creature's tinny wail. The screams echo through the trees and cobwebs.
As you make your way through the dense forest, a sudden shriek is heard from afar. Praying that hobbits are incapable of so pitiful a sound, you move quickly to investigate its source. The forest soon shows signs of giant spider webs. At first, only a few thick strands are seen between canopy and trunk, but the webbing quickly grows denser. Before long, the sticky ropes are thick enough to block your path. About to hack away at the webbing, you sense a subtle shift in the shadows and glance up. Only a few feet above your head, the myriad glare of malicious eyes observe you. Mandibles drip with ichor. Bloated bodies tremble with anticipation.
I would say Ichor instead of Icor, but I think that's one of those regional differences. I suspect in the chat right now or in the comments below, there's going to be people that argue one way versus another, and I think it's just a regional difference. But yeah, I always say Ichor. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this started. I hope you like spiders.
Full amends for every fall and stubbed toe.
Allow me to lend a hand.
Dane, son of Nain.
I like how your heroes all have their own voice line introduction. And yeah, so we get our starting hand of 5 cards, and we can choose to discard some. which I will do. Actually, having some guard cards is going to be really useful because I happen to know how this starts, because I started it to take a peek before we did this. I'm going to drop a couple of my more expensive cards over here. And actually, I'm going to drop the Erebor Watchman as well. I'll just keep the 2 guards of the Citadel, and hopefully we get other things. Wow, I drew all allies. Okay, so we must defeat the monster spiders. So every quest will have more than 1 location. I think all the ones I've done so far have had 3 locations, but I'm not sure that that is universally true. To progress past each location, there will be some sort of objective. In this particular location, our objective is to kill the 3 monstrous spiders, Garlob, Delob, and Ulob. They have a ton of hit points. These guys are insanely dangerous, insanely deadly. We have to kill all 3 of these. In addition, on the board here, there is a hazard. Sometimes these types of cards are different. They don't get beaten by attack. They get beaten by willpower. This is one of the things our dwarf deck doesn't have very much of, unfortunately. But, words are hard. But, this is not an objective, but it's still there right now. So every ally that enter play will be exhausted. We'll talk about some of those mechanics. Let's look at the board first of all. Down here we've got our hand. Excellent, all our cards in here. This 3 over here. This is how many resources I've got to play every this round to spend on cards. This is your mana, your energy. Now it is different in this game from most card games you may have played, in that the amount you get every round is fixed. We are going to get 3 resources every round. Any resources we don't spend do stick around to the next round. So if I spent literally 0 this round, I would have 6 available the next round. That's important because some cards actually cost more than 3. There aren't very many, but there are some. So looking at the anatomy of a card, Guard of the Citadel over here, the cost to play this card is 1. This card will have 1 attack. It has 4 health and 0 willpower. It has a special ability called Guard, and we'll look at that in just a moment. So all these cards in my hand currently happen to be allies. Allies, along with heroes, are character cards. You put them on the board, and you can go and attack each other. These are the enemy cards, the 3 spiders, plus the 1 objective. So, to kill these spiders, I have to deal 7 points of damage to them. Generally speaking, creatures do not heal between turns or anything like that, so I can kill them over time. One thing that's quite different here than many other card games you may have played, what's going to happen is I'm going to take 1 action, then Sauron's going to take an action, then I'm going to take an action, then Sauron will, until we get to the point where we can't play any more actions anymore because we've used all our cards and or we're out of resources or whatever, in which case we'll have to pass. Once both players pass, that will be the end of the round. New round will start, we'll get our new resources, we'll draw some more new cards and unexhaust everything. Cards that are exhausted, generally speaking, can't do anything. Generally speaking, attacking exhausts a character. Unlike many other games, cards that come into play, so if I play an ally, I can usually attack with it right away. I mean, I'll play the card, that will be my turn, and then Sauron will get a turn, then it'll come back to me, and on that follow-up action, I could decide to play with that attack with that new character. That's fine. It will be different here because of the thick webs, because if I play a character, right now they're going to come into play exhausted, which means I'm not going to be able to use them until the next round. Clearing out these thick webs would be very, very useful. Over on the right is our threat meter over here. The amount of threat we start with is actually based on our starting heroes. Your heroes, instead of a cost, because they start in play, they have a threat amount over here. And it just so happens all 3 of these characters I'm playing with, all 3 of these heroes, have a threat of 10, which is fairly high, which means the threat meter starts at 30. If at any point the threat meter hits 50, I instantly lose. Not only that, but there are certain numbers here which will trigger bad things. So at 35, sticky webs will trigger, which means this I believe is only going to be the next turn. My next turn I will draw 0 cards instead of my normal 1. I do also have a special goal. If I never trigger this, I will get some more points from completing the quest. That feels pretty unlikely. Some of the spheres, some of the colors of cards are really good at threat management and can actually drop the threat quite a bit, which is neat. So at 35, something bad will happen. 40, another one. 45, another one. At 50, I will lose the game. These numbers are not always the same, and they do vary by scenario. Over on the left, I've got my fate amount over here. No pop-up at the top. I think 12 is the cap. I don't think anything special happens at 12, but at 3, at 5, and at 7, something special will happen. Again, these numbers and what they do will vary on the scenario. Here, if I get my fate up to 3, I'll get to draw 2 cards, and this is a free action to trigger that, which is really nice. Winning and losing? So, I lose if all 3 of my heroes are dead, I lose. Otherwise, it's just about progressing through this scenario. So this first location, again, I gotta kill these 3 spiders. Now, this spider that's got the glowing thing around it, that's because it's currently in a guard position. I cannot attack anyone right now. I can't even try to work towards this objective, this hazard, because of the guard situation over here. There are cards that let you avoid that. Stealth for 1, ambush, no, not ambush. Ranged attacks can ignore that. So one of the things with guard is I'm forced to attack this one. Not only that, but normally if I attack, I do, so if I were able to attack this one, I would do 3 damage to it, and that would be it. I wouldn't take any damage in return. But if I attack the one who's guarding, I'll do 3 damage to it, and it'll do 2 damage back to me. Attacking a guard will break the guard, but it doesn't exhaust the creature. They'll actually be able to turn around and still attack me over here. So I got my 3 heroes. I also had this special extra ally over here, Will Elk. This is part of this particular scenario. I start with this one in play. 4 damage is huge. He has no willpower. 5 hit points is not a lot. Stalwart, though, is amazing. It lets you have 1 extra action each round. Holy cow. So he can effectively attack twice, doing 8 damage per round, which is amazing. But he's fairly squishy. Now, for my first action, I've got a few things. I could start off by attacking, that would be fine, but what I think I want to do is I want to make sure that Will Elk can't be attacked by these enemy spiders. So, for that, I'm going to want to defend it, and to do that, I'm going to want to set up my own guard, to force the enemy to attack that guarded creature. 2 ways of doing that. First of all, I could play a card that's got the guard keyword. This means when I put this creature into play, it'll immediately get the guard status, and during upkeep, so at the start of each round, it'll renew its guard status, which is really nice. The other, and I think, actually, I don't know how that's going to interact with thick webs. I don't know if Guard of the Citadel will get the guarded status because it's going to be exhausted. I do not know that. The other thing I can do is I can take one of my people, let's say I take Dwalin over here, and I can make him do defense. Actually, that will work, because defense will cause him to become exhausted, but become guarded. So I'm going to assume if I do this, I probably am still going to get the guarded state. I hope so, because I really don't want Willow to die. Oh, no! Foiled. Well, I did not know. That's really unfortunate. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and guard with Gimli over here. The character has taken damage, so now he's get the +1 attack, so I'm going to guard. So now the spiders will be forced to attack Gimli. I'll do another one. I'll do a guard here. It will exhaust him. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Never mind. Because I was hoping to clear these webs, but I'm not going to be able to with the things as they are. So I'm just going to go ahead and defense over here, so that spider will be forced to attack here. That will end him. He won't be guarded anymore, which is good for 2 reasons. One, I can attack whatever I want, but 2, he won't be able to attack us both. So I would still like to put a Guard of the Citadel in, but again, the guard won't do anything. So I'm going to start attacking probably this guy, because the guard's kind of annoying. This guy has block. He takes 1 less damage from everything. And I don't think there's a minimum, so if I hit him for 1, I think he would take 0. So I'm going to focus on this one here. This one's got the highest base damage, but no special abilities. Yeah, I'll hit you.
That's enough.
Sauron, what are you going to do on your turn? And play Eyes of the Forest. He gets +1 for each ally in play. So he's got some extra money. Still, this guy's stalwart, so he's going to be able to attack again. I mean, no matter what we do, we're sort of going to overkill things. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and eliminate him. I was going to say, if he plays someone else, I'm going to be forced to just guard here so that you can't get Willow. Now, this thing is still alive, so whatever I put into play is going to come into play exhausted, which is highly unfortunate, but I'll put in the Guard of the Citadel. It won't be guarding right now, but at least it'll be ready next turn. Okay, it's only +1 damage, that's not too bad. This guy's flying. He can only be attacked by another flyer or by someone with a ranged attack. However, if he becomes exhausted, for example, once he attacks, he is no longer flying. He can be attacked by a ground creature. So that's not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and unload like all my dudes here.
We'll not be taking.
So I can't do anything else. So I'm going to be auto-passing until Sauron's done. Put down some more spiders. Oh, if I had known that this guy's guard wouldn't apply when he's exhausted by the thick webs, all I would have done on my first 3 turns is go guard, guard, guard with all 3 of my dwarves. Willock would still be alive, which A, would give me a hugely powerful attacker, and B, would potentially set me up for a better achievement or a better goal later on. Okay, I have a couple of people set up with guard right now, which is kind of handy. I also wouldn't mind guarding with the Airborne Watchman, because he's got blocks. He's going to take less damage from things. I could also start with an attack. Now, I'm going to be forced to attack one of the guarding guys, because I don't have any ranged. And I don't know if, like, it's worth attacking these guys. It might be, actually. It might be just worth attacking him to finish him off. If I do this, like, it's sort of 6 of one, half dozen the other. It'll kill him, but it'll break the guard. And these guys are well suited to just tanking a big attack from the spiders. He can choose to use a small creature to pop the guard, in which case it'll kill it. And it's the same as if I had attacked him. Or he can use a big creature and not lose anything. So I think I'm not going to do anything. I could set up some more guards, but I'm kind of okay. I could set up a guard with the Airborne Watchman, again, because of the block. But I could also consider dropping a Dwarven Axe on something. +1 attack, or +2 if it's a dwarf. Now, unfortunately, none of the guards of the Citadels are dwarfs. They're Men of Gondor. I'm actually tempted to put it on the Airborne Watchman. If he dies, he automatically kills a minion. Note, these guys here with these, like, steel wings, they don't count as minions. They're basically the same as my heroes, but bad guys. I think they're called villains? I'm not sure. Now, Surge is quite cool. Actually, let's do that. I'm going to play the Warden. So he costs 3. He's very expensive. You know, 5 health, 2 attack isn't that much. What's the deal with Surge? Well, Surge lets you take another turn immediately after this one. So I'm going to play him.
None shall enter.
I immediately get to take another action. I did forget about the thick webs, though. Whoops. I completely forgot about the thick webs. So he's not going to get to act right away, because I thought I was going to use him to kill here. I guess I'll do this, because I think I won't take any damage because of the shield I just rolled. He's going to try to hit me back, but I've got shield. Okay, that's actually quite good. Because that way my blockers will get to soak more real damage along the way, which is nice. I'm going to do this. Take 1 damage back, but that's okay. Oh, he chose to do it that way. Interesting. So I've got no more guard, but that's kind of fine. I think our priority is going to be to get rid of the thick webs. Although, what I might want to do, because this guy is probably going to kill him, I might want to guard and force him to just, you know, kill himself on something else. You know what? I'm going to guard here. Take the defense action. So that exhausts him, but picks up the guard. It's sort of weird. So that's the thing. It exhausts him, but it's got the guard. So it's not mutually exclusive. So the thick webs do a little bit different. I'm going to want to get rid of the thick webs now, because they're actually really annoying. Although I guess I could have just gone for the spider kills. Exhaust every wounded character. Oh, come on! And he's going to get more money. Vicious Steed, which gives him Stalwart. Now, Stalwart means this creature can attack twice per round, but it doesn't work if he's already exhausted. Oh my god, that was really annoying. That was really annoying. Alright, new round. No one with guard. You've got ranged. Do we want to set up some guards? I'm tempted to put it on him, because again, he would take a little less from each attack. We take literally 0 from these two, which is kind of nice. I do want to get rid of the thick webs, but we don't have to rush. I think it's actually a good move to start with the guard, unless I can kill something outright. Because these guys have a lot of hit points. You know what? I think the thing to do, actually, is to make sure to take out this one spider first. I like it. Yeah, I'm going to guard here. The rest, well, one's going to have to attack there, and I'll take slightly less. Oh, right, you can attack twice. I can't kill you, though. The annoying thing, he's got blocks, so he takes one less. If I had a Dwarven Axe down, I could do it, but yeah, he's going to survive with one, so I can't stop him from attacking. So what I'll do is I'll put down the Dwarven Axe. Maybe I'll put on him, because he'll do 5 going forward, which is kind of nice. Although, I want to attack with him last, because he gives a +1 damage to all my dwarves as long as he's not exhausted. So never mind, I'll go ahead and throw it here. He's going to have 6 attack, which is overkill now, but we'll appreciate it going forward. I'm going to kill you before you attack me. I suppose I could have killed him too, but because of the shield and whatever. I can't quite finish up. I'm going to do this. Did you play Thick Webs again? Oh wait, well I can't get rid of it, so I'll just get this one to kill so that I can just end next turn. I only have to attack him one more time and I can continue this area. Actually would be a little bit better. Alright, new round. All I have to do to leave this area is bob him. None of these things are going to follow us. If they had the pursuit trait, they would follow us to the next region. Lower minion attack. We don't need to do that. I just need to go and finish you off. I need heals in this deck for this guy, which I don't have, so I can bring him back up to 6 or more. Boom. Completed the goal for this location. Travel now to avoid looming threat. So I can stick around and like put down some more things and whatnot, but I will go ahead and travel. He'll get one more time to take an action. I will travel because otherwise, if I don't, the threat is going to continue to accumulate. So let's just go. Yeah, see, they do get to attack. Captured by spiders. As you finish putting down the last of the giant spiders, you turn to see spiders wrapping your companions in cocoons. With a cry of alarm, you charge to the rescue, but not before being blocked by more incoming spiders. Must rescue it quickly. Spiders have captured 2 of your heroes. Select the hero you wish to remain in play. So I'm going to select this guy over here because he's got the weapon with the most attack. So I lose my other 2 heroes. It's a brutal setup.
It's gone from bad to worse. You ventured into Mirkwood to free a captured hobbit. But now 2 of your party have themselves been captured. Unwholesome strands break apart with a snap as you cut and saw your way deeper into the lair. Mercifully, the web's denizens are either absent or preoccupied, for you catch only brief glances of hairy bodies moving through this world of pale webbing and grey-green murk. After slow and tiring progress, you come upon the nexus of the lair. An eldritch clearing devoid of webs, except for the huge, sinister shape of a dead tree. Cocoons of many sizes hang from the branches like depraved fruit. A few of the cocoons are of the approximate size to your lost friends. One even moves fitfully. You move to open the cocoons, but the lair's inhabitants have finally noticed the intrusion into their midst. Clacking spiders soon surround you, strangely in league with several orcs.
All right. So slightly different scenario this time. Rescue companions, recover your friend to release one and free the other from cocoon. So we have some cocoon people over here. These are... Oh, Sticky Webs is triggered, which I think means I'm not going to get to draw any cards, unfortunately. So I need to use 4 willpower worth of stuff to overcome this, this objective here. And presumably when I do it, I will get my hero back or something. And here's the deficiency with the dwarf deck. I don't have a lot of willpower. Right, 1 and 1. I had the one dwarf who could count as 2, but only if he was above 6, and he wasn't above 6, and he's been taken at this point. So clearing these are going to be a pain. Killing spiders is going to continue to be fairly easy, and we will have to prioritize a certain amount on that. So yeah, that triggered. At 37, so this is location specific, so there wasn't something at 37 before, but now there is here specifically. If we get to 37, and we will, grant guard to every orc and spider. I think only the ones that are in play, but it's still annoying. Now this guy already got guard, this one doesn't. What do we have? I have a lot of money. Ranged, this. I might start with just a feint on this guy, actually. Or I might want to guard here so that he doesn't die right away. Actually, yeah. I'm going to guard here. The spider's going to have to attack him. So it took 2, but that's just going to have to be the way that it goes. I might want to guard here, too, so that you don't just kill this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to. This button, by the way, allows me to apply my willpower to this over here. Oh, there is. There's a location-specific level 4. Release one of your captured heroes. Oh. So if I had 4 will, I could do here. So it gives me an ability. I could spend 4 willpower to get it to here as opposed to 4 willpower attacking, especially if I have to deal with guard. That's actually going to be kind of handy if you had like a lower defense deck or lower attack deck. Okay, I'm going to guard, so you'll have to attack there. That means I can attack here freely. But before I do, I'm going to drop some things here. He's probably going to cast some more. I may have to do some more guarding. Yeah, that's an orc.
Squeak, you miserable rat!
I could guard, but I'm just going to go and attack him and kill him outright. Again, sort of defending here.
Grip, grab, pinch, nab.
You know, you don't have guard built in. I guess I could set his attack to 0, but I may as well do this, because otherwise I'm just going to get killed without getting anything out of value. Because remember, there's no... Oh! That was unexpected. They might be targeting the ones with the willpower. Smort. Alright, put down the Curious Brandy Buck.
Fear, fire, foes, awake!
Pursuit range. Okay, so range means you can... it's highlighting the pursuit. Can you highlight the range? No. Means you can attack someone who's guarding without getting backlash. Which is unfortunate a little bit. I think you're a good candidate for a feint, actually. A feint, bring your damage down to 0 here. Despair. Okay, so he's gonna raise the threat by 1. Wait, after attacking this enemy... Oh, so if I attack the Spider Guard, threat will increase by 1. Fortunately, I can't put down the Veteran Fire Axe, because I did spend the other thing. Do I want to deal damage, or do I want to pop this? I think I've got to work towards these things.
The Shire!
Unfortunately. Oh man, low on supplies. +1 threat every time I play a card. Holy cow. This is what I get for not playing with enough willpower. Oh, and that triggered, so guard to every orc and spider. Alright, I gotta set up my own guards. You've block, but not guard. You've got block. So, actually, that's right. Let me go... So neither one of those... So that one will have to attack. I'm trying to think if there's a good way... And you had range as well, right? I think the right thing to do is actually start this. If they want to kill the guy with no willpower, so be it. And it looks like the answer... Oh, well, they can't. They can't do damage to him. So actually, if I go ahead and defend... Yeah, he's not even going to start attacking yet. Okay, I think I have to go ahead and defeat this. Oh, we can't because you've got stupid guard up. Okay, we've got range, so we don't take damage back, luckily. Die.
I'll make you squeak, you miserable
And yeah, you didn't get guard retroactively, which is good. With the Veteran Axe Hand, I will be able to overcome this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you into play first. Now, you got a little secret over here. What is
swings
it?
too.
Okay, this leaves me with 3. So, in theory... Let me start with the lowest damage one.
The Shire!
I can't have the threat just go up like crazy. I need to pop one of these things, but...
Baruch Kazan, Adonai! Baruch Kazan!
Alright, I'll put you into play.
We'll not be taking
And
more
what I'm going to do
surprise.
is I'm going to defend, which will actually persist the guard through the next round, which is kind of nice. The guard sticks until it gets popped. And guard on someone with a shield is really good. Thorny Underbrush triggers 2 damage to 3 different characters. Ow, ow, ow! This is not a very helpful card, it just gives me 1 extra money. They don't need right now. You've got your guard up. We do still have the ranged over here, so let's kill you. And this guy's, he's going to attack. He's going to be forced to attack over here, which kills him.
For Buckland!
That is a big spider with a block. It doesn't have guard, luckily. I have to kill it. Block. I can't kill it. Because of the block. Alright, let's do this. Because the block, he takes less damage. Oh, revenge! Ha I forgot about that. I actually should have been guarding him. Well, no, he needed his willpower. So, you instantly kill a minion. Amazing.
Hammer and tongs!
Breaking open the cocoon, you find one of the lost heroes inside.
The kingdom of old shall be renewed.
There you go, you come into play. I think he took damage because that's what he was at. Recover your friend to rescue the remaining companion. Completed the goal for this location. Travel now to avoid a threat. Yeah, 9 more threat and I lose here. Apparently threat management is a little bit more valuable than I give it credit for. Yeah, I'll travel immediately. Yeah, we're at 42. 8 more.
Bruised and bloodied, the creature whimpered at the cruelness of the world. It would have been killed had the orcs not been distracted by the intruders in the lady's pantry. It had escaped into the tangled undergrowth and shrouded itself in shadows from where it had seen Ulfthak and his caravan depart. All that remained was the faint creaking of the wagons fading into the gloom. The lady remained before the gateway. When the clangor of battle from within the lair diminished, she began to shift her monstrous bulk. A strange and battle-worn band soon emerged from the webs, faces paling in despair at the sight of the bloated monster. The Lady of Bogwood, brood mother of the western forest, descendant of the great Ungoliant herself, lost her composure and hissed with rage. These strangers had defiled her sanctum, her lair. Punishment was due.
That's some not all creepy art. Okay. Final encounter. Alright, so if we finish this, we win the quest. Defeat Ungoliant's spawn. So, you're creating more people. Hold on. Wait. Alright. So I have to go and kill Ungoliant's spawn. 14 hit points. 3 attack, gains +1 attack, and grant guard to every hatchling spider. During upkeep, summoning a hatchling spider, which is what that is. They're normally 1/2, but they're going to be 2/2s with her. You're also starting off with some more guards in here, including Stalwart, who's going to be able to attack twice at 44 threat. What's going to happen? +7 health. Okay, so if it since I've got no real way to prevent this, it's going to be a 21 health person. I can exhaust the spawn one time if I get there. Cut the webs for some more things. I may want to trigger cut the web. Gondorian's shield, +2 health and block. That is very interesting. You already have block, and block doesn't stack. Can't save you even with the shield. +2 health, yeah. You're still within 1-shot range. I think we probably put it on... oh, no, I can't. Because I think I can only put 1 item. Maybe we do put it on Dane here. Even though, like, it's effectively going to be exhausting him. Do I want to do it now? Yes, I want to do it now. Or can I? Is it 1 per slot? Oh, it's 1 per slot! 1 weapon, 1 armor! Oh! Okay, I hadn't realized that. Alright, you just took a lot of damage, but... I think we're just going to take some guard actions so that we can hit people back. Well, I guess it's the same. Whether I guard or attack, ultimately it's going to result in exactly the same stuff. Let's do this. Yeah, that's the best way to kill this thing. Alright, it's a little less damage. Yeah, that's really handy. Let's bop you before you attack. Oh, I shouldn't have exhausted you. That was dumb. Wrong order for things. Now I can't... Well, I mean, I can still kill you, and I will.
Varukazad!
This turn, Course Forest. What was that? Shed 3 cards from each player's deck during upkeep. So it's going to eliminate cards from my deck. And if I run out of cards, I don't think I'll lose. I won't have any more cards to play. Well. Maybe I should hit you to bring down the damage. Because this guy will be able to attack for 3 next turn. Although it'll be a guard. Watching the dark increases the threat. Oh, man. I may as well play Gaining Strength. I've got nothing else to do. Cancel the next event played. Hey, I'm actually totally okay with that. So that was what he had prepared here with his treachery. You're giving block to the big spider? So now it's going to take 1 less damage from everything. It's so bad. Yeah, and now it gets +7 health. And summons another tank. And I lose 3 cards. I can drop a warrior sword on someone. If I do this, I won't actually die, because I have my own block. So I will do that. With 5 damage from this one, this is hell.
I go
Oh man, I'm just gonna
to
lose.
my kinsman.
Yeah, you've lost your bonus attack. See, I would like to hit him before he can attack me. That would mean wasting the overkill here. That's because I put down the warrior sword, he'll be able to attack anyway. I guess I will put down the warrior sword here. You'll be able to attack. I know you won't take any damage back, unfortunately. Kill that guy. Okay, that's not so bad. I'm gonna finish you off here, and then I can hit the big spider for major amounts of damage. The thing is, I only have 5 hit points left on my what? Discard an attachment, and it's my damage attachment, which is really bad because the guard here. I'm gonna have to hit it so many times to kill it. I gotta hit it 5 more times. Upkeep. Deal 1 damage to each hero. Oh. And he's summoning more spiders, of course. Oh, I'm just dead. 100% dead.
Varukazad!
There you go. Game over. Oh, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, I'm sure I made a few mistakes. And I think my deck could be optimized. Like, the first round went easy because huge amounts of damage. That second round was tough, mostly because of an overall lack of willpower. I think what I need to do is I have to do a deck that's like, oh, I never thought I'd fight next to an elf. Well, what about a friend? What? I don't know how many characters I had. A friend? Question mark? Hey, cool. Which I think I'll have to combine the power of elves. Like, grab something like Eowyn. I mean, Legolas would be the theme, right? It does have range, which lets you deal with a lot of this guard stuff, which this has a lot of. He doesn't have much willpower. Like, I was sort of thinking Arwen. Arwen has massive amounts of willpower to deal with the objectives in Phase 2, and provides much-needed healing, which I didn't have access to. I think Arwen and Dwalin... Like, Dwalin's pretty good by himself, because as long as he's healthy, he's a 3-2 on the attack. I could still combine him with Dane, because if, you know, Dane doesn't take an action, it's going to give another +1 attack, so Dwalin's always going to be a 4-2, and fairly persistently. Arwen can pop the spiders. I like that. Faramir is ranged. Vanquish? So whenever he kills someone, I'm assuming specifically he kills someone, I would get to draw a card. That's really interesting. I guess one of the questions is, do I want 2 pips of leadership, or do I want 2 pips of lore, or do we want something different? I mean, Eowyn gives you attack, and she's going to have a lot of willpower as well. Gimli, now it might be tempting to take Gimli, because effectively he's going to be sitting at 3 attack a lot, and that's pretty deadly. Legolas is still tempting. Glorfindel is 2 attack, 2 willpower, and can help bring down threat. If he takes damage in a round, it lowers the threat. If he doesn't, it gives us a point of fate, both of which is really strong. That would give me 3 different things, so I wouldn't be able to take any level 3 cards. I'd be limited to only level 1. But that's not bad. I could use Watchful Peace. Apparently there's some value in lowering threat. Exhaust the next enemy that comes into play actually could be pretty potent. Barliman Butterbur, he's got a power. So we actually didn't play with any cards that had a power. Power is an ability this card can use. It will exhaust them, generally, when you use this. And this power also requires I spend a resource, but he would let me draw some extra cards, which I was running a little low on cards. Bilzebub's Cloak is really nice. You can only put it on a Hobbit, though. So, -1 energy, -1 resources every turn. That's really good. That restores a bunch of health, maybe. Recover your next defeated ally. Recover just puts it in your hand, so... it's pretty good if maybe you have few but very powerful allies. Maybe. One of the things, too, is, so these cards here, I can unlock by spending my fellowship coins. And as far as I know, there's no microtransactions for that. I think you just earn them through quests, as far as I know. But there's also, just completing quests also unlocks more cards. It might be worth going and try to completing all the major quests in just narrator mode first to unlock some stuff, which I think are different from these unlocks. That would give me more options for something tougher. Exhaust 1 ally, ready, different character. Maybe... So these are events. I might want to, like, filter based on... Let's just look at allies first of all. Make some decisions. Actually, this is quite cool. The East Road Rider, in that particular challenge that I was facing, there were a lot of hazards. So this is +2 willpower versus hazards, as opposed to objectives. So actual objectives, like actual sort of quest objectives, and hazards both get defeated via willpower. But this would give me a bonus only versus hazards specifically. But that would mean, like, the sticky webs and things like that. I don't think it would count on the Phase 2 hazards, though. Or the Phase 2 objectives, because I think they're true objectives as opposed to hazards. Record Keeper, you're expensive. You got tons of willpower, but you're kind of low on the attack. Now you cost 4. You're also unique. I can only have 1 of these in play at a given time. But I could have 2 in my deck. By the way, there's a limit of... So your deck's 30 cards. You can only have 2 copies of each card. So you'll have at least 15 unique cards in your deck. You could have 30 unique cards in your deck, I suppose. Or 30, I should say, different cards. So I can only have 1 of these in play. They're very expensive, but quite powerful. Block and guard. No willpower. But that, maybe. You know? And super duper expensive, though. I don't know, throw a couple in? Maybe just throw 1 in. Revenge, ready a character. Force protectors with the guard. Gandalf's really expensive. He's also fleeting. He goes away at the end of the round. But he's a 4/4. He's squishy, but it doesn't matter. He's going to go away at the end of the round anyway. And when he comes into play, you can either draw 3 cards or deal 3 damage or lower threat by 3. Stealth means I can, ignore, block, and guard. And he can't be attacked. +1 willpower for each objective in play. He actually could go and crush those webs. Those are the Citadel's, the Guard of the Citadel. So they're a 1/0/4 for 1, as opposed to a 1/1/4 for 2. I suspect the Guard of the Citadel might actually be better fit than Force Protectors, unless I have things that boost Sylvan, and there's a lot of that. So that's one of the things you got to consider. So a lot of items can only be equipped on specific people, so that's a Hobbit. Oh yeah, Narya over here loses fleeting, so you can put in Gandalf and then hit it with Narya, so that he's no longer fleeting. I mean, he's still really squishy. There, Ranger Cloak, +1 health, or if you're a Dunedain, what is that, the Race for First Men or whatever, +1 health and +1 willpower. Rivendell Blade, it's only for Noldor or Sylvan. After you attack, the defender loses block this round. Huh, that is kind of interesting. Oh, there's probably more at the higher sphere levels that are specific to various races. or maybe some of the other combos, but it can only have level 1. I do like the Gondorian shield, although it's stupid expensive. Favor of the Lady. +1 will. Maybe, huh? -2 before you travel to the new location. So you play this after you've completed the objective, but before you travel. It's fairly specific. This gains guard when exhausted. That's... ranged. Ranger's Blade. I don't think it's worth unlocking. I don't know, man. +1 when attacking, and gains block when attacked. Oh, that's quite cool. So I do an extra damage when attacking, and when being attacked, I take 1 less damage. Ooh, these are expensive to unlock. Still, it might be worth it. I don't know. Do I want to put 2 in here? I might. Spike Trap. So I think I put this on an enemy minion. Yeah, it takes 1 damage per turn. Minion only, not like one of the main villains. If you could, it would be great. Star Brooch I really like. Stalwart means it can attack twice per round. That's insanely good. You're defeating an enemy. Oh, you're ready, so you unexhaust. It's similar to the Star Brooch, but you have to actually kill something or complete an objective. Something like that. What kind of events? Watchful Peace. Advanced Warning. A Hospitality. Might be worth having just a smattering of some of these. Recover your next defeated ally. Careful planning. -1 threat for each resource of the next Siren events played. Heals you, or increases your health by 1, and gives you stealth for a round. Ready a character. This will prevent us from dying to max threat. For every character this round, every Gondor gains block as well. Maybe. Okay, gaining strength does just give us more resources, which we've got some expensive stuff. It might be worth throwing a couple of those in there. Gilthoniel Alabreth. Defeat the next minion after it attacks. Okay, so this is a preparation. You play 4, you put it into play, it's hidden. The next time a minion attacks, it instantly dies. Not a villain, but a minion. It instantly dies, and it lowers threat equal to its attack value. Huh. Expensive and might kill something wimpy. I don't know. Grant block to every character this round. Maybe. I don't think anything in that scenario had Pursuit, but I can restore a little bit of health. This returns one of our discarded heroes to life. Exhausted, but presumably at full health. Let's put 1 in there. Super expensive. Lembas. Heals 2 and readies it. That's possibly strong. +1 resource to each player per unit they have in play. Okay, so this actually is quite nice if you're playing co-op with someone, because both of you can potentially gain this. It doesn't do anything to Sauron. Presumably he doesn't have any Dunedain in play. Discard the next attachment Sauron plays, maybe. Summon a random Hobbit ally. Presumably not from your deck? Presumably just somewhere? Maybe. Discard a Rowan ally to apply 4 progress to 1 objective. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Cost 2 applies 4 progress to something. And then the secret path, it's only 1 to apply 2 progress. So per resource, it's the same. This doesn't require you to discard someone, which makes it better that way. On the other hand, you know, the nice thing about this is that it's 1 action to do something insanely huge. And it allows you to avoid guards and things like that. This actually might be a powerhouse for that scenario, because 4, like, this, all the various objectives are either 3 or 4. And this discard from your hand, not from play. I wonder. We'll have to make sure we get some Rowan allies. Sneak attack, study the scrolls, recover the next event after you play it. +3, fate after resolving an objective. Not a hazard, just an objective. Recover a Sylvan ally to summon a random Sylvan ally. Really? So this returns a Sylvan ally to your hand and then summons a random Sylvan ally. +1 money for each character with an attachment. Cancel the next event they play. Apply one hero's axe as progress to one objective. Oh, hold on. My dwarfy deck, it doesn't actually have spirit. But I could do a high attack damage deck and include a couple of Will of Steel. That actually might be the key. Hang on. Let's save what we've got in here. We can save it. We can't play this deck. My Dwarven damage, if I were to drop Gimli. Mostly red. And put in a spirit hero. So one of these three. Maybe Glorfindel for
Right
threat
forward.
management.
Right.
And he's fairly attacky as well. Which is nice because if we look at events, Will of Steel, that would be really useful. I mean, it's not all dwarves anymore, so we've lost that theme. Actually, we have no dwarven allies. We do have some Rohan people, which means we can also use this here. And we just need to make sure we've got a few other Rohan allies in play. Yeah, level 1 for this. Run. There's some dwarves too. Okay, we still have these watchmen with their dwarves. We probably want to throw these guys in. So we do have some blue dwarves available. And they actually have higher will. This actually might end up being a better balanced deck. Block and guard. They were right. This guy's really expensive. But I can be discarding him from my hand to use with the other thing. Rowan, Revenge, ready one character. Maybe. Seems so wimpy, but although... Yeah, he dies. Ready one of my other characters? Maybe. That's quite cool, too, because it's +1 this round versus objectives at full. Any kind of objectives. Hazards or otherwise. He's effectively a 3 against something that's full. That's not going to kill the spiders, but it might be worth it. It's Dale. Be nice if it was Rowan. Here's Rowan. Ranged, which... he's so expensive. Oh, I already have him in here. Yeah, never mind. Oh, here's more dwarves. Power gives us money. Oh, he can mine for money. Yeah, I don't know. He's fairly squishy, but they're cheap. I don't know. 2 more cards in here. I mean, we could go for more of the will, but I think we've got more than enough will. Raven ringed helmet. Oh yeah, we can actually even use the level 2. Well, only for purples, but... +1 attack, and if we kill someone with this guy, we get +1 money. Or, now that I have blue, I can add star brooches, which is what I want to do. Okay. So, I mean, this is Dwarven plus. Oh, there's a copy of my mistake. It would have been nice if I could have made a copy first. I could have kept my old Dwarven damage deck. Dang. Ah, I forgot. But yeah, I'm betting this might do a better job. We'll see. I'm going to have to end the video here because we're at over an hour already. I didn't make any changes, did I? Anyway. Yeah, I'm going to have to end it here. Really enjoying this game. Find the challenge quite cool. Looking forward to poking around some more. Looking forward to more contents dropping. So Witch King's Grasp is going to be next. And yeah, a lot of these. So what they've done, they have like, I don't know, in real life they'd come up with like, I want to say like almost a couple of dozen of these campaigns that both give you more challenges, but I think a lot of them also come with like new hero and other cards to add to your deck. And I think it's the sort of thing we could be playing this for like 2-3 years if they keep putting out some fairly decent content. A little extra voice acting, the storyline. I really like the vibe. I also like that it's not too expensive of a game, which is kind of nice. And right now, so the one expansion they have out is the Shadows Fall. I think it's currently 50% off. Also, there was something about on consoles. More of this is gonna be... it's not out on console yet. On console, there's going to be something about some of the extra content being available right away. I don't know what the details are there. It was a little bit fuzzy. Also, there's these extra encounters here too, which so it's just a one-step. It says it's supposed to be very difficult, but it does have some extra rewards here. So some more cards. Northern Survivor. Oh, Stalwart. So good! So good! Yeah, so like, it's like really important to go and do these first ones. Again, I'd probably do it on like the easiest difficulty first to, oh, there we go. No, I wasn't clicking on it properly. Show me the reward. Oh, mouse over here. Orc Disguise, Counter, Grand Stealth. Yeah, I may want to do more of this on like the easiest difficulty setting to unlock the cards and then try them at the highest. I mean, I'm going to have to beat everything on every difficulty because that's the way it goes, right? Folks, thanks very much for watching. I'm going to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.